Hi, my name is Caroline, and I'm 24 years old. I grew up in a pretty affluent family. While my parents loved to flaunt their wealth and connections, my brother and I didn't. We liked to appear like we were comfortable and not filthy rich. We never tried to show off our connections, but we were very grateful for the opportunities that we had because of them. What I'm trying to say is I'm aware I'm rich, but I don't need anyone to know about it. Moving on, let me introduce you to my ex-husband, Derek. One day, my friend Sophia was super excited about a special event at our local restaurant. She begged me to go with her, saying it would be so much fun. I wasn't really interested, to be honest. All I wanted was to stay at home with my favorite book and get lost in its magical world. But Sophia can be pretty persuasive, so I finally gave in and agreed to go. When we got to the event, I saw a bunch of people happily chatting and sipping wine. They seemed to be having a good time, but I still wasn't feeling it. Then something unexpected happened. I was seated next to a guy named Derek, who was really friendly and told me about all the different wines we were tasting. Surprisingly, I found myself enjoying our conversation, and we exchanged numbers at the end of the event. Later that night, I got a call from Derek asking me if I wanted to go back to the restaurant during the weekend. I said yes, and we planned out a date. A few months passed, and Derek and I had been happily dating for a while. I was satisfied and couldn't believe I had found someone as amazing and caring as Derek. All my friends told me that I was extremely lucky that Derek was so loyal and attentive. One day, Derek took me out to a fancy dinner and asked me to dress nicely. During dinner, Derek had a band stand by our table and asked me to marry him. The ring he gave me had a huge diamond on it. I said yes. We began to plan a beautiful wedding. Derek had just started a new job with a big company named Taurus. Even though he was busy with his new job, Derek would always help me with the wedding planning. He would make sure I did not get stressed. He would even give me his opinion on the flower arrangements and the guest list for the wedding. Well, everything was going pretty great. There was only one issue. Every day when Derek came home from his new job, he seemed stressed and unhappy. He would talk about the pressure he felt and how much he wanted a promotion. I couldn't help but feel bad for him. I wanted to make him feel better, so I tried to help him manage his stress. You won't believe how strict and demanding Monica, my boss, is at work. She always finds faults in my work, no matter how hard I try. Oh, it must be tough for you. Is she making your job too difficult? You have no idea. It's like she's never satisfied. She's the one who'll decide if I get that promotion I want so badly. I need to impress her somehow. I know it sounds like you're under a lot of pressure. Is there anything I can do to help? I wish there was, but this promotion means so much to me. I want to be able to do so well that Monica will have no choice but to give me that promotion. That'll teach her not to mess with me. All right, now calm down. Just keep working hard and show her what you're capable of. I'm here to support you no matter what happens. I wanted to help him out so badly. I thought hard about what we could do, and an idea struck me. Babe, I've been thinking about how we could improve your relationship with your boss. What if we invite her to our wedding? It might leave a good impression on her and help with your promotion. I don't know. She's always so busy, and I'm not sure if she'd want to come. Come on, it's worth a try. I'm sure she'd appreciate the gesture. Plus, it would show her that you're serious about your commitment to the company. I don't think it's a good idea. Monica's not the type to attend weddings. She's always so focused on work. Well, you never know until you ask, right? It could make a difference. I appreciate your support, but I'd rather not involve her in our personal life. Let's just focus on enjoying our special day together, okay? All right, if you feel strongly about it. Just know that I want the best for you and our future together. One day, Derek came home looking surprisingly happy, and I couldn't help but feel puzzled. Babe, you won't believe what happened today at work. I managed to win over Monica. She's been so much nicer to me lately. Wow, babe, that's amazing. I'm really happy for you. But how did you suddenly get so close to her? It's incredible. I started helping her with some challenging projects, and she seemed to appreciate my dedication. Today, during a team meeting, she called me her favorite employee. That's quite a change. I mean, I know you've always worked hard, but this is unexpected. Do you think it's because of the promotion? It's possible. I think she's considering me seriously for it now. It's such a relief to finally be on good terms with her. Well, I'm proud of you. Keep up the great work, and who knows, maybe this promotion will be just around the corner. Even though I found it odd, I chose to forget about it and focus on the positive side. I was thrilled that Derek's efforts at work were paying off, and I believed inviting Monica to our wedding would make him look even better for the promotion. I thought everything was going well, and we were moving forward together. The big day finally arrived, and I couldn't contain my excitement. I put on the beautiful dress I had carefully chosen, and the venue looked like something out of a fairy tale with all the flowers and twinkling lights. As I walked down the aisle, I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed with happiness. Finally, the moment came when Derek and I tearfully exchanged our vows, promising to love and cherish each other forever. The whole room erupted in applause and cheers. But amid all the joy, I noticed a woman in the audience whom I didn't recognize. I soon realized that it was Derek's boss, Monica. Seeing her there made me feel a bit uneasy, but I tried not to let it bother me too much. After all, Derek had said they were on good terms now, so maybe she came to show her support. Monica was tall and had long, shiny black hair that cascaded down her shoulders. Her red dress made her look even more beautiful and confident. When she approached us to offer her congratulations, I couldn't help but feel a bit uneasy given her history with Derek. Caroline, you truly made a stunning bride. Congratulations once again to both of you. Thank you, Monica. Monica also gave us an expensive gift for the wedding. It was really thoughtful of her. I wanted to show my appreciation for you both. Derek is an excellent employee, and he deserves all the best. That's very sweet of you. You've been a big support to Derek at work, and I'm grateful for that. I'm glad I could help. And how about the two of us grab lunch one day? Derek never stops talking about you, and I think I should get to know you too. That sounds lovely. Let's plan it soon. Great, I look forward to it. After the wedding, we enjoyed a luxurious honeymoon and newlywed bliss. I was over the moon with happiness to finally live with Derek and start our life together as a married couple. We even talked about having children soon, and I couldn't wait for our future together. However, a few weeks into our marriage, things began to change. Derek's behavior started to become distant and strange. He would come home late from work, and instead of being loving and attentive, he seemed annoyed and distant. He started scolding me for small things like not doing the dishes or laundry, even though he used to be helpful with these tasks before. I tried asking him what was wrong, but he either gave me short and rude answers or didn't respond at all. I felt confused and hurt, not knowing what I had done to cause this sudden change in him. It was heartbreaking to see the man I loved acting so differently towards me, and I desperately wanted to fix whatever was wrong in our marriage. Our marriage was still new, and I feared it would turn into a nightmare if I didn't find a way to fix things. So, determined to save our relationship, I decided to approach Derek one day when he returned from work. I was thinking, why don't we go to the special restaurant where we first met for lunch tomorrow? It might be a nice way for us to reconnect and talk about what's been bothering you. I don't have time for that. I have an important meeting tomorrow, and I can't waste time on silly dates. I just want to understand what's going on and support you. We used to share everything with each other. Can't we find some time to talk? I've got a lot on my plate right now. I'll figure it out on my own. All right, I understand. Just know that I'm here for you whenever you're ready to talk. I was sad but decided to keep quiet. That night, I lay awake in bed, my mind filled with suspicions about Derek's strange behavior. Something just didn't feel right, and I couldn't shake the feeling that he was keeping something from me. I knew he didn't have to work the next day since it was the weekend, but he had mentioned having a meeting. Unable to ignore my gut feeling, I decided to secretly follow him the next day when he left the house. I had to get to the bottom of things and find out what was going on. My heart pounded in my chest as I watched Derek pull up to the very restaurant I had suggested we visit for our special lunch. Memories of our happy times together flashed through my mind, and I felt a mix of shock and hurt. The restaurant looked just the same as it did back then, and seeing it brought back all those cherished moments. My hands trembled as I saw Derek step out of his car and walk towards the entrance. I couldn't believe my eyes. He was going to meet Monica, his boss, in the same place where we once shared our love and dreams. A small crowd of people were seated inside, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing in my heart. I stood there, hidden from view, feeling like my whole world was crashing down. I wanted to confront him, to demand answers. It hurt so much to see him walking away from our marriage to be with someone else, especially in a place that held so much significance for us. My heart pounded loudly in my ears as I quietly followed Derek inside the restaurant, trying to remain unseen. I felt like a detective on a secret mission, but what I saw shattered my world. Derek looked around the restaurant before spotting Monica, and a smile spread across his face. I couldn't believe my eyes. He was meeting her just like they were old friends. My breath caught in my throat as I watched Derek walk over to Monica and give her a warm hug. My stomach churned with a mix of hurt and anger, seeing them so close and affectionate. They sat down across from each other, and I noticed Monica constantly touching Derek's arm, laughing at his jokes. It was like they were in their own little world, and it made me feel sick to my stomach. It was clear they were flirting, and the pain of betrayal washed over me like a tidal wave. I couldn't understand how Derek could do this to me, and in the very place where our love story began. I wanted to confront them, but I felt paralyzed, unable to move or speak. All I could do was stand there, my heart breaking as I witnessed the painful truth of Derek's affair with his boss. Just as I was about to turn away and leave the restaurant, I saw something that crushed me. Derek leaned in and kissed Monica right before my eyes. Rage and hurt surged through me, and without thinking, I strode over to them, demanding an explanation. Derek looked shocked to see me, but instead of remorse, he seemed surprised that I had found out. How did you know I was going to be here? That's not the point. Why were you kissing Monica? She's your boss. Oh, don't act so surprised. Derek and I have been together for weeks. He wanted that promotion, and I was more than willing to help. How could you betray me like this? It's not about you. Monica and I fell in love. I should have stopped the wedding, but I couldn't find the courage. I can't believe this. You both played with my emotions and lied to me. Oh, poor Caroline. It's not our fault you can't keep your husband satisfied. Get away from me. I don't want anything to do with either of you. As the painful truth sank in, everything started to make sense. I finally understood why Monica had never visited our house and why Derek's work attitude had suddenly improved. It was all because of their affair. Anger and hurt consumed me, and I couldn't bear to look at Monica's smug face any longer. Feeling overwhelmed, I impulsively picked up a glass of wine and threw it at her. The wine splashed across the table and on her. I shouted at her for breaking up our marriage. Derek stood up, defending Monica, and angrily told me to get out of his life, claiming he would be better off without me. Tears streamed down my cheeks as I left the restaurant in a rush, unable to bear the pain and humiliation any longer. Back at the house we once shared, I packed my belongings, my heart heavy with sorrow. I knew I couldn't stay with Derek after what he had done. With a heavy heart, I booked a flight back to my hometown, seeking comfort and support from my family during this devastating time. On the way back home, I couldn't stop crying because of what Derek did. I felt like my whole world had fallen apart, and I was so sad. When I got home, my parents saw how upset I was and asked me what happened. I felt like I needed to tell them everything, so I explained how I caught Derek cheating on me with his boss, Monica. My parents got really angry when they heard what he did. They couldn't believe that someone we trusted could hurt me like that. My mom and dad hugged me and said they would support me no matter what. They told me I deserved better and that we would do something about it. They were just as mad as I was, and together we decided to find a way to make things right. My mom asked me who the other woman was, and I told her it was Derek's boss, Monica. My mom thought for a while before asking me which company Derek and Monica worked at. I told them it was a tech company. By the name of Taurus, my mom jumped up from her seat and exclaimed that she knew the company. When I asked her to explain, she said that she and Dad had gotten my older brother Leonard a job at that company years ago. Leonard had begun working at that company at a relatively lower position because he wanted to. He worked hard and quickly climbed the corporate ladder, eventually becoming the CEO. I was so surprised to learn that my brother Leonard was already a CEO. Because he was much older than me, I had never really asked him about his job before, so it was a shock to hear about his success. My mom, seeing how hurt and angry I was, promised to help me get revenge on Derek and Monica for what they did to me. She immediately called Leonard and explained everything that had happened. I could hear the fury in his voice as he heard about how someone had treated his little sister so badly. Leonard wasted no time and asked my mom to give him Derek and Monica's details. With Leonard on my side, I felt a glimmer of hope and justice. I knew he would do whatever it took to make things right and punish Derek and Monica for their betrayal. Having my big brother stand up for me meant the world, and I felt a little less alone in my pain. I spoke to Leonard for almost an hour and recounted everything that Derek had told me about his job. Leonard said that while he had not heard of Derek within the company, he would look into the matter. Later that night, Leonard called me to tell me that he had found out about Derek and had a plan. He said that he had found pictures of Derek and Monica kissing on multiple CCTV cameras around the office building. He had even found evidence of them stealing company money to use on their dates and to buy each other presents. Oh, I was relieved that Leonard had found evidence to support me. Leonard asked me to come to the office building the next day. I was confused about the request, but I decided to go. So the next day, I went to the office building and made my way to Leonard's office. He had a serious look on his face, and he told me he had called for a special meeting with all of the employees. I was curious and a bit nervous about what was going to happen. Leonard explained his plan to fire Derek and Monica in a humiliating way for what they did to me. My heart raced, wondering how it would unfold. We headed to the meeting room, and all the employees gathered in front of a stage where Derek and Monica stood together. When Derek spotted me across the room, his face turned from confusion to anger. He walked over and demanded to know why I was there and how I got in. I stood my ground and firmly told him that it was none of his business and that I had come for some important work. Just then, Leonard stepped onto the stage. He greeted everyone and started to talk about the office policy against dating coworkers. I could see Derek becoming even more uneasy as he realized his secret was about to be exposed to everyone. Leonard asked everyone to look at the screen behind him. Oh, my heart raced with anticipation. Derek and Monica seemed puzzled as they glanced at each other, probably wondering what was happening. Suddenly, the screen displayed pictures from the office CCTV cameras showing them kissing. Gasps filled the room as everyone saw the truth right before their eyes. Monica looked shocked and panicked, trying to rush towards the stage to stop the embarrassing evidence from being shown. But Leonard acted quickly, asking the security team to prevent her from interfering. I felt a mix of emotions. Anger towards Monica for what she did to me and relief that the truth was finally exposed. Leonard continued to speak firmly about the consequences of their actions, making it clear that there was no place for such behavior in the workplace. Derek and Monica were left standing there, exposed and humiliated in front of their colleagues. He proceeded to disclose the fact that Derek was a married man and had been in a relationship for a long time. He told everyone present about how Derek not only lied to his wife, but also to the company by stealing money and valuable assets to be able to afford a relationship with Monica. Monica began crying and wailing as she denied the proof of her relationship with Derek and begged Leonard for a second chance in front of everyone. When Derek tried to stop her, she pushed him away in anger and denied knowing him at all. Leonard announced that both Derek and Monica were to be immediately fired. They also had to pay a compensatory fine to the company for breaking the rules multiple times. I stood in the corner of the room, enjoying myself. It gave me satisfaction to see the fear on Derek's face. Derek approached me and tried to explain himself. I have to admit that I already knew about your brother. It's the reason I even started dating you, but I promise I changed. I need your help. Please just ask your brother to give me a job back. You used me. Our whole relationship was just a means for your career. I know I messed up, but I love you. I want to fix things. Love, it was all lies. You betrayed me. It's not that simple. We fell in love, and I couldn't find a way out. Leonard will make sure you never find another job in your field. You don't deserve any sympathy. You shattered my trust, and now you'll have to face the consequences. It was like a punch to the gut knowing that our whole relationship had been built on lies. It wasn't easy to face the truth about someone I once loved, but I knew that I deserved better. After the difficult days that followed, I focused on healing and rebuilding my life. I knew I deserved someone who would truly love and respect me. As time passed, I grew stronger and more confident. I followed my passions and found a job I loved. I surrounded myself with people who valued and cherished me for who I am. Life continued, and though the scars remained, I was determined to find happiness and love once again. I knew that someday the right person would come into my life and show me what true love means. When that day comes, I'll be ready to welcome it with an open heart and a strong spirit.